Gunline. We got a fire mission coming down, y'all. I'm your host, Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast, where we chop this shit and shoot it up like we did out in the field. So go on and pop a squat because it's about to get hot right now. You are on the gun line. Oh, yeah. So with that being said, if this is your first time being here, you're in for a good one. Usually I either have a point of view or an interview. Today we have an interview with a young man who I served with in 2005 down to 2007 when I was in 277 Field Artillery out of Fort Hood, Texas, 4th ID. Now, I say from 05 to 07 because that's how long I was in the unit. I ended up going to Korea after 2007. I don't know if Wheeler was still there or not, but we'll talk about that. So, Wheeler, what is up, my man?
Man, it's been a while, Lopez. Shoot, talking about 07, heck, sometimes folks, they drop off a little bit, wind up under a rock to regroup, but, a tactful retreat ain't no thing.
Exactly, dog. Exactly. Sometimes being away from society is some of the best things we can do for ourselves, my brother. Shit. So before we get into what you've been up to all these years, dude, give us a quick rundown about yourself. Like, where you from? How old were you when you joined the army? Why did you join the field artillery? And all that good shit.
Well, it started off, man, it seems like my son's lifetime ago. The reason why I joined the military, I got laid off 2 times at this company. My son was about to be born. I was 18 years old. And 1 second. Wife. Anyway,
I saw that look of fear.
We got to keep them happy. But she keeps me happy too. That's fast forward a little bit. We'll start back a little bit sooner. So what Wheeler's been up to is living, man. When I joined the military, I'd gotten laid off 2 times, like I said earlier, right? Well, it was at a place, NCI, welding, young buck. We done had them towers fall, I'm sure that's been discussed on this channel several times.
Time out. I got to throw a flag on the play. First things first, where are you from?
Tallapoosa, Georgia, baby. Small town, America in the South. Georgia's been a big hub in a lot of ways, and I ain't really learned to appreciate my state until being an adult. But there's a lot of slow work out here in the South, and if you ain't near a hustling, bustling city, Atlanta's one of the biggest in the world. So yeah, like I said, it's a hustling, bustling city, man, and out in Alabama ways these days, it's a lot less. It's more like comparing Mayberry to Raleigh on Andy Griffith, man. It's Slowville around these days, but it's nice.
Exactly.
But
I thought I heard you say Seattle, that you lost a job in Seattle.
No. That might be my southern accent. It might be hard to understand sometimes, Lopez.
All right, my bad. All right, so
no, man, it's my
laid
bad.
off. Nah, you good, baby. Sometimes my beaner ears don't pick up proper American English.
You know what? We're talking about Georgia right now, where I'm from. I'll give you some history on this, man. Love history. If it wasn't for just being culturized and getting out of small town USA in the South, I don't know if I'd have quite understood, my own home. It's like, you go away to kind of understand who you are, that rites of passage that we went through. And as a country, we went through it. What we went through is a whole lot different than what anybody today may face. With that said, we had to learn how to come together, and it was crazy, going away from home and learning more about my home away from home was wild. But with that said, Georgia, was originally a Spanish colony. 1544, Spain's presence was really hard. And, like I said, it's a Spanish colony originally. So, I'm sure they was eating beans too over here because it wasn't up but beans and corn, bro.
Facts, fucking facts. Hey, believe it or not, man. For those that are probably like wondering why we're talking this way, is because this is how we speak in the army. We always talk shit to each other, racially or not. But before we
How you
get
gonna learn? How you
exactly,
gonna learn?
and not only that, we'll get into that much deeper later on. All right, so you were laid off twice from your job at 18, got a kid, and
On the way at the time. When
wait,
I was laid off, it was around Christmas time, and my ex was pregnant.
mm,
And bro, I ain't got no formal education in regards to school, man. I mean, methamphetamines hit this place really hard. Bro, it's like
mm,
in the 90s, crack hit the ghetto hard, bro.
mhm,
And meth hit this area from Fruithurst, Nowheresville to Waco, Nowheresville. I mean,
damn,
Highway 78. I mean, there was a time where there'd be like 3 homes you'd hear about blowing up or burning down because they were
God.
cooking dope, bro. That's where I come from.
Yeah,
It
and
ain't West
when we say
Virginia, but
when he says homes, he's talking about trailer parks. I'm
hey,
just fucking
bro, you
with you.
know what,
I'm
man?
fucking with you.
Look, man. Whether it's the trailer park, the U.S. and Mexico border, or the ghetto
Mhm,
somewhere from L.A., Compton, Brooklyn,
mhm.
Bronx, or Atlanta. That's where we all come from, man. That's real
Facts,
America right there. Real America's on
motherfucking
the other side of
facts.
the tracks.
You right. You are fucking right. All right, so they were blowing up. Meth was hitting hard. You barely got a formal education. I have a good enough diploma. That's all I got. It's a
Bro, I sound
GED.
like my mama and my daddy's related.
No, man. I
Hey,
mean,
I
you
love
are.
it, man.
That is down south shit right there. But yeah,
I swear to God, it's more in Seattle than there is in Atlanta, though.
bro, I could never live out there. Fuck that. That's too, it's got gone too liberal. But so okay, so the towers came down. You were a young man when that happened, right? How old
Yes,
were you when the
sir.
towers went down? 18,
Man,
19?
actually, bro, I was probably about 16, 17 years old.
Okay.
Boy, in alternative school, you know, dude, most of my buddies went to school or went to alternative school in YDC because that's breaking into cars and stuff. I didn't grow up poor or nothing. It's just kind of, it's just the country. There's a lot of poor folks everywhere, and we all go to the same damn school.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy because I remember when the towers come down, I had this teacher, and it's just that's this particular woman, uh, very important to me. But I was in her class at the time, and I remember she stopped everything. We had psycho ed kid, problems, special ed problems, drugs at some kids' home. It just happened to be where I was at the time. I didn't want to give up tobacco, but I wound up there, and when those towers failed, they stopped everything. I knew, excuse me.
No, you're good.
I knew a long time ago, I had dreams when I was a child that I was in the service. Um, I knew that's where I was going to be. I wish it would have been longer. I know we'll get to that, but um, I served with a bunch of great guys, and when I wound up going, I talked to a recruiter. I'd been laid off twice, catch back up, and ADD, but catch catching back up.
Mhm.
I was laid off twice, and I could just only think about, well, I ain't gonna do nothing in regards to education. I got a child. I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
And my dream was always to go. And because I was married, or well, I was seeking to be married, and I
Mhm.
had a son on the way, the Marines dropped me. And this Army recruiter, Sergeant First Class Meadows was
Mhm.
his name. And he caught me on my way out and explained to me that, the Army is a much better decision anyway. I preferred their
Right.
uniform, actually. I miss the old BDUs. And That's kind of how I made my way into the Army. I didn't even tell my parents. A month after I made the decision and talked with a man, didn't even tell my fiance at the time. But
Oh wow.
oh yeah, I made this decision on my own. I was scared, didn't want to say I was laid off.
Mhm.
I lied for about 2 weeks saying I had a job, and I was working. I was making some money. I was hustling, doing whatever, but it wasn't enough. And so when I said I'm going, I was already committed. And ain't no running. When a wheeler commits, we do. So that's what I did, and that's how I started my journey there, bro.
Hey, you're gonna hear probably me pausing in and out is because my son is like being really, really loud in the background. But I'll be pausing. I can still hear you, and I'll pause back in or mute. You'll be hearing me mute. That's what I'm saying. So
Bro,
anyway, so let me ask my next question here for you though. All right. So do you have any family members prior to yourself joining the military that had served in the military?
yeah, not many that was talked about in the family in my youth.
Okay.
Um, I later found out, the military being a strong part of my life, that there was several, more historical ventures into, military campaigns, but we're talking about grassroots stuff before the Civil War. But
So we're talking
my
more along the lines of the war of
well,
northern aggression.
well, my great granddaddy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Boyd Pike, Albert Boyd Pike, and he served in the United States Army as a paratrooper during World War II. I did an essay on
Oh,
him,
nice.
and yeah, bro, this dude's a story right here. But this old feller, Mr. Pike, I was about 2, 3 years old, and I remember this. My memories back then is a lot better than hell middle school. But my point
Yeah.
is,
Mhm.
bro, I'm walking around his funeral. I seen twice this man preach that I remember. My parents would tell me, when my dad was alive, he'd say, son, I don't see how you remember that.
Mm.
But this man died when I was about 3. But I remember him preaching twice, and I remember his viewing, and I remember the funeral service. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I don't know what this dude was affiliated with, but I do know that he got a Medal of Honor. Yes. And I also know that he killed I don't know how many Nazis in the trenches. The story leading up to that is wild. If you want to hear it,
Let's bring it on, baby.
bro, let me tell you about Mr. Pike here. All right, so there was a moment where they were going to advance, and Albert Pike, Boyd is what he went by, my pawpaw Pike. Boyd, as they all got the advance and they went forward, there was a call for retreat because the Nazi regiment they were going up against was more prepared than they had anticipated. Well, for some reason, Mr. Pike didn't get the memo. Well, everybody else advanced. When they're calling in, getting a checklist off who's there, they realize Pike's not there. They don't hear from him for quite some time. Move forward a little bit. He comes back. They see him. I mean, I can imagine Hollywood doing like smoke in the trenches. All right. Now I'm telling you, this is facts.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
As he's coming back and he regroups with everybody, come to find out he'd lost comms. I don't know exactly because I've got 2 things that said in my family. All right, in the story. But one is that when when he didn't get no comms, or he didn't get the memo because I guess something happened to him, and whatever happened, the explosion, the bullet, whatever happened, he lost comms. Well, the other story is that um when he lost somehow he lost the communications system. Like he wound up, either way, both consistent stories go off with some sort of bullets or an explosion. All
Right,
right.
right.
But he loses comms on his way, still advancing. Everybody else is retreating. He winds up behind enemy lines. He finds a flamethrower when those were illegal. Yeah. When they were using flamethrowers,
Hell yeah.
he used a flamethrower and he went down the trench. I, I ain't old enough to know the stories of the details that entail what he had to do to get to the trench, because there was obviously a fight. There was obviously some comms lost, and he obviously didn't get the memo. I don't see this man advancing forward, when he knows ain't nobody behind him. That's reckless. And I'm almost certain he was a non-commissioned officer at the time. I've got the
Hmm.
I've got the essay, the paperwork, years ago. But, with that said, this man went down the trench and he flamethrowed every flame this flamethrower had to throw. And he just blowed these guys away down the whole trench. Now, if you know what a flamethrower is all about, it's chemicals, right?
Hmm.
What is it? I think they use it as Willie Pete now, but or the chemistry behind the fuel. But you're talking about throwing liquid fire on so many people. Now, fast forward from that story to when I'm
Hmm.
a child. This was an old man. All right,
Right.
I was born '85. So this feller, when I was at his funeral, I remember seeing the Jets, the V. It was I can't tell you how many. I ain't even good with most of the pikes these days. I just work and do my own house. But you know, I know he loved me. I was his first great grandson, and the memories I have of him holding me and being nice.
Right.
And then hearing this story right here, you hear about two different fellers. It ain't two fellers. It's just different seasons in somebody's life.
Right.
But you
100%.
wouldn't you wouldn't know as a human being what you're capable of until you have the tools and the mentality. And if you don't have the tools, you better have the mentality, because that's your number one. But yeah,
Motherfucker.
old Albert Pike, man, that guy, I seen jets fly over. He had an actual 21 gun salute. If you remember, Lopez, our our unit had the funeral details before we went over to Iraq. So that reminded me then too. But that's that story. I know I kind of ventured off. What's up, bro?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I disconnected my freaking. Anyways, I work in a raggedy ass front room, which I call my studio.
Bro, it's your
But, bro, that's
studio, man. Look at
fucking
me. I'm
awesome.
on my front porch. Let me go sit in my truck
Hell
on
yeah.
my lawnmower.
No, man, I'd rather be on my fucking front porch. I should have done that instead, but the mosquitoes are bad out here, dog. I live in
Wha-
Texas now, actually.
Bro, how
Hmm.
bad? What part? I mean,
I'm
you
in
talking
San
about mosquitoes?
Antonio.
So, oh damn, dude. So God, bro, you over there by that famous river, the mall, the San Antonio Mall, with the river it runs through.
Yeah, the Riverwalk.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Green River.
That's 4 feet deep and probably full of fucking germs and diseases. Yeah, that's about probably a 30-minute drive from me. I live on the way far north side, baby. But man, that is fucking awesome. So you have a good lineage now. So your great grandfather was in World War II. Did you have any other family members like in Korea or Vietnam or Gulf War? Any like I would say like your brothers or
I
pops,
got I got
uncles?
some distant cousins
Yeah.
that served in several different wars, and I mean that's funny you ask. I mean, that's some things I've looked into over the years,
Hmm.
in regards to that. Um, you know, Vietnam, I think my great uncle James Kelly was either in Nam or Korea. He died. Wait, dude, I'm from a place. You go back a little bit. Uh, I'll give you some history on Tallapoosa right quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Tallapoosa
yeah.
Tallapoosa, Georgia, is right on the Alabama and Georgia line now.
Okay.
Right on 33rd degree latitude. All right.
Gotcha.
Now, 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 when it comes to Tallapoosa, there's a lot of power here. It's old power. The Whalers were actually you could find this. My clan of Whalers I come from fought in the Union.
Okay.
Um, they and they, I mean, there's always going to be some. It's a different time, and it's a lot of
Oh, of course.
information we lack these days as poor people. You know, but with that said, Tallapoosa's history is quite great. Actually, we had the Tallapoosa gas wars, where several men that have been elected politicians in recent years that actually stole so much petroleum from the government and got away with it for
Yeah,
decades, bro. Yeah, there's a little known book published, and the guy that wrote it and published it and authored it got shunned. He's talking
of
about too
course.
much, backwoods, good old boy stuff. But
That's
um,
fucking crazy. Wait a minute. Well, all right. So fast forward. Okay. So did any of that have any influence on you? Thinking about joining the military, or was it simply the fact of the laid off and the towers? Like, was there any other sense of like duty to want to serve
yeah, dude.
before any of that?
Um, as I kind of mentioned this earlier, but if there was ever any like Christmas or birthday, I always respected the uniform.
Hmm.
I don't know how that sounds, but you know, back when back back when officers wore a uniform that was more, I don't I don't know how to say accepted. I do know that, as a soldier, and I've wore the whole full battle rattle, I
Hmm.
understand, what we're supposed to look like.
Right.
You know, no matter what conditions are, and our reasonings, as a government going into another kingdom. But I get that uniform, but and it's nice. It's nice when you don't really feel like you have anybody as a child.
Yeah.
I had wonderful parents that were very young parents when they had me. And, that's another topic for another day. I really shouldn't even
Yeah.
exist. But my influence to join the military come from all them medals, the earliest that I can remember, all them medals. I told you about Pike's setup. Now, bro, inside the place, there was a small town church at Faith Baptist Church in Tallapoosa, Georgia, almost in Alabama, bro. It's a little big country church, all right? I'm going to tell you, in the bottom of that funeral, or in that house, or in that the church, not a funeral, it was in the church. And the bottom stairs where they had the tables lining, this man had medals all over the place. Now, me, I can call myself, I wouldn't respect anybody that called me this, you understand? But, my exodus from the military is a little questionable. I'm thankful that the support that I had that loved me from behind the scenes, that realized who I was and what I was. All right. It's not really something I've talked about a lot over the years. And if I did, sometimes there's a little bit of bullshit because I can be a car salesman and get what I need to pay for my children. But when it
Yeah.
comes down to the nitty gritty, I ain't lied about shit. And I'll tell you, you know, I feel like I was bamboozled a little bit by some hierarchy, a lieutenant colonel that was wanting to make a name for himself, and maybe even another feller. I won't even say his rank. He's too small to bring up. Probably working class and retired now, and I ain't throwing no dirt. I forgive. I know what
Yeah.
mercy is, and I beg for it every day. I give everybody what I want back. So with that said, my exodus from the army wasn't the best, but by
Right.
golly, my tenure there was.
Well, and we'll get, like I said, we'll get to that
Yeah,
once
yeah,
we get there. So, all right. So you finally let's fast forward to TT then. All right. So the Marine Corps recruiter said, "Fuck no." The Army guy said, "I'm gonna show you the way." And
yes, he
how did?
damn sure did. Army, it was Army of One at the time.
Yeah, yeah. I had just recently changed that shit to
Yeah,
Army of One, and
yeah. Well, be all that you can be.
yeah,
Army of
they
One.
thank God they brought back Be All You Can Be because the last fucking recruiting tools were not working too well. But we'll get into that as well, dude. So okay, they got you in the recruiting office. They say, "Gotcha, bitch." How did you end up a fucking field artilleryman?
Bro, yeah, you know what? My ass valve was like, okay. You know, it ain't like I'm some genius. I'm a fucking intelligent man these days,
Mhm,
but I really wasn't prepared for manhood. My parents knew to, you know, like their parents before them, hey,
mhm.
we're in a poor area. Harrison County says, all you girls go get pregnant by somebody with a job. All the guys is
Gotcha.
told, go get a job.
Right. Okay.
But
So,
but
what were the other options though? Was it just artillery, or were there any other options?
yeah, I could have been a cook. And I'm a
Oh
hell of
God.
a damn chef, boy. But the guy told me, look, all right, so I put off taking a second AS valve because this recruiter talked me into his quota. All right,
Mm.
I thank this Sergeant First Class Meadows for showing me the way because that man, when I was in basic training, I sent him a hell of a letter. Like, oh boy, yeah, 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 R rated.
Oh no
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. I gave him a whole lot of, I's dotted and T's crossed, mofo.
Oh
But
shit.
but my options at the time was really like I told the guy that was telling me my options after an ASVAB score of 49. All right,
Mm.
hoorah! That's Marines, yeah. Hoorah! But he told me, you could always retake your ASVAB, and I really didn't want to do that because
Right.
I did, but when the guy, you sit down in you done left, you ain't even around your recruiter no more. You remember like you go to the place that the recruiter drives you to,
Mm-hmm.
and there's all these guys and their class A's, and
You're over
they
at the
just
MEPS and they're fucking looking good.
bro, there's all this paperwork, sign here. Dude, I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
prepared. Be honest with you, bro. I didn't even know how to be a man until I got out the army. I was homeless 2 years, bro. No shit. Yeah, 2 years. I was homeless. I've lived in the woods. I've ate things you couldn't even dream up in a worst nightmare to do away with hunger pain just to get sick from that shit. And I don't know how I'm alive, bro. I really
By the
don't.
grace of God, my man. By the grace of God.
That says it all. So I mean, I do
Mhm.
know. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you. But that's fast forwarded stuff. But as far as my options go at the whole MELP
Mhm.
Center, I mean, I remember chef. Like he told me artillery, infantry, and chef. And I think he was going to continue, and I just interrupted this guy in his class A's. This is a slender black dude. I look, dude. If I'd have been his ranking officer, I'd have got his ass on a haircut because that shit was horrible. I mean, dude, that was nappy as fuck. But look, bro, respect to him. But this dude
Yeah.
fucked me, all right, because he told me, he kind of lied to me. I was told about artillery, and he was like, yeah, you get to blow stuff up. I'm thinking, I was a dumbass kid, bro. I didn't know shit. Dude, what I knew is go clock in, clock out, somewhere in the middle of that shit, smoke some weed, drink a beer.
Yeah.
That's what I knew. Small town America. There's no such thing as a skating ring around here or
Did they show
paintball.
you did they show you any types of videos?
No, no, I didn't get a
Oh.
single video.
Oh, okay. See, I got hooked by that motherfucking video of the Paladin and the motherfucking 119er and all that. But I only saw the Paladin and I was like, I'll take that shit right there. I should have
No,
seen the rest of it.
dude, it took more to sell you. I was a dumb ass, and they just said you blow stuff up. You know, I was like,
He
oh
had you to
really?
blow stuff up.
Really? I get to explode things? Oh, boom! What's this shit you speak of? No, yeah, that's how they got this motherfucker.
I'm assuming that you didn't get the. I'm assuming that you didn't get the
You got my
experience you
charger
thought.
and a drop cord. Sorry, will you say that one more time,
No,
brother?
I'm saying I'm assuming you didn't get the experience you thought you were gonna get.
Oh hell no!
All right,
I
we'll
got
get
way
there.
better.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there shortly. All right, let's talk about you leave your Tallapoosa, Georgia. All right, you leave it there. Now let's talk demographics. In Tallapoosa, what is the racial divide there? Like, what is it like? I mean, I'm assuming it's predominantly white.
I'll tell you. And you know, we battles, so you know, I'm assuming everybody already knows how your channel works and shit. So I mean, I just keeps
Yeah,
it
exactly.
100, bro.
That's how we do it here, baby.
It's probably about 80% white trash, and then maybe 2% to 5% ashy black motherfuckers. And then hold on. And then occasionally you see a couple beaners walking into Piggly Wiggly. All right. Now look, you ain't heard shit yet, bro. Look, I'm telling you, you asked for demographic. I'm telling you a 4D perspective, bro.
Yeah.
Now, every now and then, a couple of them Hispanics you see is shopping for the Davises. The Davises is not part of the white trash. Now, there's a shit ton of white trash around this motherfucker, and they don't work. They draw way more EBT than any motherfucking black or Mexican around this motherfucker. Now, they might be Honduran or something. I don't know. All I know is the Guatemalans are short. And
all right, so fellas, y'all need to hear something. This is the shit right here that I'm talking about. Gun line conversations. Because if people heard us talking like this out in the civilian sector right now, they would be, how dare he say such racially insensitive shit. This is the type of bonding that brothers have.
You know what? Proverbs.
Go ahead, Pimpin.
Proverbs. Where's that drop cord? I'm on 2%. I don't want to lose.
Hey, you need me to pause this real quick while you get your stuff?
I'm rounding it up right now. Round me up a drop cord, son. I got this grown man right here. Some of y'all was served the beer in my apartment. There? Oh yeah, that's mine. That's monster.
Motherfucker tall as fuck.
Yeah, he get it.
God damn, he about to whoop your ass, Wheeler.
I ain't forgot hand to hand.
God damn. But for those for folks who are wondering, I'm telling you right now, Kowalczyk is gonna be dying listening to this shit. All right. Kowalczyk is gonna fucking die. We've talked about you a couple of times on the podcast. All right.
Yeah,
and not in a bad light. Not in a bad light either. It's never been bad. We never compared you to Freeman. All right. So I don't know if you remember him.
Shit, that guy. Fuck. Is he still in Texas, bro? Is he even alive? Has the back of his neck been washed?
So for my regulars that listen to this podcast, y'all know who Freeman is. Yeah, as you can see, it's now been co-signed by someone else. All right. Good night.
Hey, look, much love to the dude. You know, not everybody. Like, hey, you know what? Like I was saying earlier, you know, the recruiters fast forwarded me and didn't really sell me what I wanted to be sold, but I made the signature. You know, sometimes the military don't get what they bargained for either.
Yep. Give me one quick second. While we're doing this, why don't you tell us what you remember of Freeman?
I know that motherfucker down took my M16 in basic training and swapped it out with his. And when Command Sergeant Major and all them walked through, and they look at mine. I don't even know why. I can't remember his name. This was in Fort Sill, bro. This was at the end. Dude, I was up for promotion, at the end of basic, at the end of AIT for us, I mean, if you, combat MOS 20 and under, at least when we served, everybody did that. What was it called? AIT
OSUT.
right after basic. What was it?
OSUT. OSUT, one station unit training. OSUT.
So I'm up for promotion. I didn't know this. Drill Sergeant Sines, Drill Sergeant Harris, Drill Sergeant Lasea. Of course,
you had Drill Sergeant Sines, the one with the little Hitler mustache, Puerto Rican dude.
I made fun of his ass after basic training. When everybody gets to do impressions. I said I impersonated. Dude, he hated me even more. I think that motherfucker stole my gold chain. I had a Jesus piece on it. That some bitch was always talking. I know his Mexican ass was jealous of my Jesus piece.
All right, so let's go with the story, baby. What continued happening? Oh.
So, I made fun. I made fun of him, dude. Drill Sergeant Sines was always fucking goddamn. Hey, you ain't gonna.
So, wait, so you went to boot camp with Freeman?
Yeah, I told you, bro. That dude's all right. So look, that last check, that last formation in the barracks, everything's got to be perfectly to
period for inspection.
To the 16th, bro. Perfect to the 16th.
Yeah.
Your socks, bro. Your fucking socks. Yeah. All right, your underwear better be folded to specs.
Yep. And you know what? I remember we had to make a canoe out of our socks. You roll them up, and they had to have a little smiley face, a canoe with a smiley face at the bottom. And but for those that don't know, it's called period for inspection. And that is the very last one where you're holding your weapon and you're in the barracks. At least this is how it was for us. We were in our barracks. We're holding our weapon. The commander comes through, and he'll straight out fucking Marine Corps Full Metal Jacket style. They snatch the weapon out of your hand, ask you what your third general order is, and all this good shit. And you gotta be fucking spot on, or you will be smoked till the motherfucking cows come home and the goddamn walls sweat. All right, so
God forbid everybody else is smoked on your behalf.
Mm-hmm. All right, so preach on. What's happening?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's always a party that time of night. It ain't Cinderella trying to find her glass slipper neither. There's a cat looking for a socket of soap.
Fact. Now, so are you telling me that that Freeman somehow or another fucked up your goddamn promotion?
Bro, this I mean, it's been a long time ago. This dude swapped out my M16. We had the M16 Alpha 2s at the time. All right. I remember we stayed up. The most important thing that we had, that everybody stressed, was shining your boots and cleaning the barrel of that rifle. Just clean that rifle. Clean that weapon. Clean that weapon. It was boots and weapon. Everything else, apparently, I guess they wouldn't. I remember it talking about, you got your little ruler, your tape measure, whatever you done bought from the PXBX, and you making sure everything is from the edge of the mattress. All right. You making sure the corners on your bed is folded perfectly. All right. And everything is exactly laid out like the specs that's been laid out before you. All right. I stayed on my rifle. We stayed outside for days, just shining boots and cleaning the fucking rifle every day, out on the pad, sitting on her ass, Indian style, shining your boots or you're cleaning your rifle. Bro, my shit was beast. I know you could have shined they wouldn't have dingleberry hanging out in that motherfucker nowhere, bro. All right.
Yeah.
I learned later, all right, when I got looking around. I wasn't saying that. What are you going to say when the drill sergeant walks down first squad, you part of first squad, you 3 beds down from where he first turns, and it's him, it's his butthole liquor, and then, your drill sergeants, and these son of a guns stop at your mattress. All right.
Oh, damn.
But I was the first dude they stopped at, bro. The very first one. All right.
Yeah.
And I don't know I didn't, like I said, I didn't know until later I was up for promotion. A very empathetic drill sergeant that was brand new to the tour brought me to the side because drill sergeant Sines told me I couldn't see my family that night. This, bro, I was forbidden to see mine, and this drill sergeant looked after me. I wish I could remember his name. We didn't have him but like a week and a half, 2 weeks, but he did me a solid. I got to see my wife, my son, my parents, and in-laws. You know, they all flew out, but yeah, man, dude, they stopped at my shit first. Dude, remember, you got to salute with a rifle, as soon as he stands in front of you, and then I had to hand it over to the command sergeant major of Fort Sill Post. And when he looked up my barrel, bro, dude, I seen it in his jaw before I seen it in his eyes. dude, I seen the vein. Oh, it looked like Interstate I-20 from fucking Atlanta all the way to LA, man. Riding from his lip to his damn collar. Perfect. God. Bro, I like I said, I learned later when I got smoked. They smoked the fuck out of me. My promotion went to Meese. I don't know if anybody's ever talked to Meese or seen Meese.
I haven't seen or heard of Meese. Yeah. Meese. Remember there was Meese.
Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was from Brooklyn. And see, Meese, his daddy was a big time high-ranking officer in New York City on the Brooklyn sector. Me and Meese partied, bro.
Okay.
But Meese, yeah. If anybody remembers Meese, yeah, we did party. But Meese, let's see here. Meese ended up getting my promotion. I was gonna go from I didn't have nothing, I was like the dumbest fucking E1 in basic. I don't even know why they let me make it through, bro. I was just that goddamn loyal. Drill sergeant could have said, eat that dookie out the toilet. Roger, drill sergeant. Roger, Roger, Wheeler moving.
Holy shit, goddamn. You're fucking killing me. All right, so who else was in your boot camp? It was, so you have Meese. I mean, yeah, you had Meese. You had
Meese. Let's see here. Music, Papanow, Garcia. But Garcia was a light fighter. When I say Garcia, I think we had a couple Garcias.
Yeah, we did.
Man, Ricky Garcia.
Ricky Garcia from New York.
Ricky, my boy, dude. Yeah, my son used to dago taking beers with him, and remember Stout? Yep. Brooklyn Stout?
Yeah, I tried Stout not a couple years ago, actually.
Hell yeah, I ain't seen him in a minute. I've tried to holler at him, but
Bowden is the one that talks with him a lot.
Let's see here. I actually would like to damn know what he's going up to. He always struck me as somebody to be a politician.
Who's that?
Stout.
I think he's still getting ready to retire, actually. So
wow, that's impressive, man. It really is. Yeah. That's amazing.
Last I heard, he was a sergeant first class. So, again, I don't know if you remember Dowden. Dowden is the one that keeps up with him. Dowden was a skinny dude, white, tall, from Arkansas. He lives out in Oklahoma now.
It kind of sounds familiar, man. The name, but dude, I didn't even make it quite 2 years, bro.
It's understandable. Wait, so who else was in your boot camp? I need to figure out who else was in there.
Let's see here.
Who from our unit that you remember?
Our unit, shit. Micah Hubbard, Leon Reed.
Let me blow your fucking mind right now.
Yeah.
Micah Hubbard is a first sergeant.
What?
In Fort Carson, Colorado, right now.
That makes sense because he don't never holler at a motherfucker on Facebook.
Micah Hubbard, who got caught in the trunk of a motherfucking car coming into the goddamn on post, is a first sergeant.
Hey, look, I guarantee you every one of them cats that was first sergeants when we was coming in, got stories too. We was wild. I mean, we're very fortunate to have made it. Dude,
well, it's not like we haven't lost a few along the way. I don't know how far you've caught up since you've gotten on Facebook.
Campos, me and Vincent have been tied over the years. There's my exodus from the service,
What?
even though
We'll get to
there's some
that.
folks that looked after me,
Mhm.
um, Campos reached out to my mama.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. So not to get too far ahead, but Vincent, he reached out to my mama during the middle of some times,
Turbulent
and
times.
he ain't stopped talking to me a year since I reached back out to him.
Mhm.
Um,
Campos hits me up. Like, we've been in contact. He's been on the podcast a few times. I'm surprised he hasn't told you about it.
he mentioned I hit him up today a little bit because I'm kind of, I mean, I ain't no stranger to no camera. I'm just me on this
I've been
thing, and
seeing
I'm
you on
me
video.
away. But what you see is what you get, man. And
Yeah.
minus
No.
whatever.
Well, I mean, but I know. But what I was trying to say is, we've lost some friends along the way. Like, it started
He's
off with,
told me about some.
yeah, it started with Quintero. Then from there it went to Jones. Then no, was it Jones? What the hell? Hold on.
Jones
Johnson,
passed.
Johnson, Johnson. Jones passed away before we deployed.
Yes,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the medicine.
yeah. And then you had McConnell. Then we had what? Yeah,
I didn't know
McConnell.
McConnell.
You didn't know him, or you didn't know?
No, I didn't know McConnell passed.
Yeah, he a couple years back. Yep, about 2-3 years ago, maybe it's been. Then we had fucking what the hell is that white pretty boy? The hell
We
was his
had a
name?
couple in there.
Well, not really, but fuck, what was his name? He went AWOL and came back. Um,
Uh,
he went AWOL because he had to handle some family business, and then he came back. They tried to make him seem like a shitbag at first, but he turned out to be a good dude. I can't.
I remember bits and pieces of that story.
I can't remember his fucking name for the life of me right now. I mean, and then
We'll
of
figure
course
it out.
the one that hurt me the most. Not to say that everybody else's didn't, but Cruz. When he passed, that one hurt.
Wait, which
I
cruise?
was really tight with him.
Which cruise? Because we had Cruz from Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
Cuban,
Yeah, him.
bloodline.
Him.
Um, no,
Yep, 3 years ago. 4 years in November. Yeah, man. That one fucking hurt me because I had just caught back up with him in 2020. When I started doing the podcast. I started doing the podcast in like January 2020. And I started catching up with a lot of folks, Sarn Hodgson, Sarn, just a bunch of everybody, just trying to get them on here. And Cruz jumped on here like April of 2020. And then we caught up. Everything was good. So me, him, and Kowalski, we got tight again. Like, we were talking all the time, just fucking going back and forth, shooting the shit, right?
I remember you and him and Kowalski being tied anyway in a circle. I know
Mm-hmm.
Kowalski. I
And
was a basic with Kowalski actually. Kowalski, what,
okay,
Chicago or from Illinois?
yeah, yep. So
Yeah,
what ended up
crazy ass
happening?
damn what, Russian or German name. That shit
Polak.
really gets me about Cruz though.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, check this
I was a
out.
basic with Cruz too, if I remember right. But he was a light fighter. I was Nighthawks and second platoon. They were third
Okay.
platoon, and then the Deltas and the Foxtrots, I
Right.
think, were first platoon.
Well, get this. So in September-ish of 2020, uh, I he became like a co-host here on the podcast. And what ended up happening was in November 23rd was his birthday, 2020, right? So everybody's talking shit to him, like our normal know-how on the shit on the texts and all that good shit. And then the 24th is my birthday, November 24th. So we're talking shit on the text messages, like he's talking shit to me, I'm talking shit to him. And then that was on a Tuesday. We were supposed to do a podcast that night, him and I, right? So he told me, hey, man, I might be late tonight because I got to do, he was working recruiting duty out there in Johnson City, Tennessee. So what ended up happening was I ended up texting him like about 6:30 p.m. and he doesn't text me back. So I'm like, oh, well, he said he was going to be late. So 7 o'clock comes along, 8 o'clock comes along, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to Hunt. So I reach out to Hunt, and Hunt about that, man. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on here. It keeps fucking flaking out. But anyway, what ends up happening is around 8 o'clock, I reach out to Hunt. Hunt gets on with me and we start doing the podcast. And right around when it's, we're finishing we're wrapping up the podcast, right? This is on my birthday now, November 24th, 2020. We're wrapping up the podcast. And I was like, oh, and by the way, I want to send out a shout out to Cruz. That motherfucker could even hit me back up to let me know that he wasn't gonna make it today. Just fucking canceled out on me. So fuck you, Cruz. And then Hunt's like, yeah, Cruz, fuck you. How you gonna let the homie down? Fuck you. So we're saying fuck you, Cruz. And then we hang up, right? And then I'm now what I start doing is formatting the podcast, right? Getting it ready to drop. And I get a message on my phone through Facebook. And it's from Cruz. But it's Doll, his wife, that's texting, saying, hey Lopez, this is Doll. Just to let you know, Jordan had a brain aneurysm today, and they found him non-responsive at the gym. Man, my heart fucking sank at that moment. So,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't never want to step on nobody's toes,
No.
but
No.
did did you know did did he get the thing?
Oh, this is before that. It
You
wasn't
said
mandatory yet. It wasn't mandatory yet. And
okay, so I mean, I just know that's been a
right.
symptom.
Yeah, they didn't even have the fucking the vax yet at that time. So I know what you're talking about, but no, he didn't even have the symptom yet at that time. No, because he ended up passing away November 20. Oh, later on, he had the aneurysm in
So they kept him on life support for a little bit.
yeah, well they try to get the brain bleed to stop, but they couldn't. He just kept hemorrhaging and he kept having strokes. So they kept him alive long enough to for his son to come back because his son was stationed. I don't remember where. So once they had everybody gathered together, they said their final goodbyes because back then the Rona had hit, so it was only limited people that could be in there. So and then they let him go that morning on a Saturday. So dude, that one to this date, there's times where I still find it hard to even accept it because we linked up to go to the funeral, which was the funeral was out in Nashville. Well, we linked up in Johnson City. They did the wake, the memorial, and a couple of us made it down there. Myself, McCabe, Carter, Granice, Kowalski.
Yeah, I paid for that motherfucker's tribal tattoo on his arm.
Hell yeah, I've been in contact with him as well. But
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, that's just the way it is. But long story short, we ended up getting together, and we said our final goodbyes to him, and not to take away from any others passing. All right, but
Johnson hit kind of hard.
Yeah. Silky's hit really hard. Quintero hit me hard, but the one for Cruz, the one that's
crazy. Quintero. I mean, it's all crazy, but damn, I had no clue about Quintero.
Oh yeah.
I remember when Ricky hollered at me on my old Facebook before I dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
And Garcia was like, "Hey, Johnson passed. A lot of people's trying to get together and get some stuff up for their mom, dude." And I mean, it was probably weeks after the fact when I got that message because this was just during a time for me. And dude, that was one of the most crushing messages I have gotten in my life. One, because, I can't tell you how many times, I whooped his ass at Fight Night Round 3, on Xbox, or we all played spades in the barracks, cards. Johnson had this kangaroo hat he gave me. And because he's bald, and I admired the hat. You know,
Oh
sometimes
man,
I
technical
wish to this
difficulties
day
again.
I could find that hat. But when my life took the turns it did, I there was a time I all I had was
Horrible.
duffel bags full of clothes, and I thank God every day during those times I had that. But
Right.
yeah, it hit hard learning about Johnson because it was a realization that Johnson's passing's a big it was a big motivation for me to get out of my hole I was in.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I mean, you hear about somebody, bro, dude,
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into that if you don't mind. So you know what? Let's rewind a bit before we go. So, all right, you went through basic training. We talked about the Freeman thing. You ended up graduating basic training by fucking winging a prayer, and
yeah.
you
Hey, I would say a wing and a prayer, actually. Because I wasn't a Freeman. That motherfucker down made it on a wing and a prayer.
fucking
But
Frank. Well, let me
but
ask you. Let me ask you. You get orders to Fort Hood, Texas. All right. Now, let me ask you. Here's what I want to know before we go to that. We were talking about where you come from, which was Tallapoosa, right?
yes.
Did you now before Tallapoosa had you gone out and explored uh different ethnicities or different cultures compared to what you were exposed to? Was it like a culture shock for you once you got to boot camp and then once you got to Fort Hood? Was there any kind of a culture shock? And was there what did it meet the expectations that you had put in your head?
There wasn't a culture shock in basic.
Mm.
I had my own place when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
Um, I got a twin sister that's goddamn gorgeous. All right,
How old is
but
she?
she is she's exact my age actually.
How about
Well,
you know the fact that you had to think about that, her being your twin?
dude, I'm getting older, man. But look,
Yeah,
look, um, she ran away when she was. My dad was a heck of a man,
I got you.
that's another time. But she ran away. It was a hell of a time, and my dad was becoming a bad drunk,
Mm.
and my mother had fixed me a meal, and it was a great meal, man. My sister was my best friend,
Yeah.
and my dad got home from work already tore up, and started saying some really horrible things about my sister. My daddy, I spent 2 years from sixth grade all the way to eighth grade grounded. I couldn't come out of my room
Mm.
except to fix my plate, and what stuff like that. My daddy had a heavy hand too, and he liked picking up things.
Mm.
So when she kind of did her hiatus, and then things fast forward, and she gets back at the house, uh, you know I knew I was done. They sent her to boot camp, and I don't know why they didn't do nothing like that to me, but I left, and police picked me up several times, and I told them, look, you gonna send me to YDC, and if y'all do that, I swear to God, you won't never see me again. As soon as I turn 21 and I'm released, I'm gone. You won't never see me. You let
Right.
me move out and just do my thing. Quit hitting on me. Let me be who I want to be. And hell, that night I had a place to stay, and that week I had my own trailer.
Oh shit.
And the week after that, I was out of town working. First place we went to was Naples, Florida. I was
Oh shit.
introduced to home of Larry Bird and the richest Latinos in this country, this side of the border. All right. And dude, I'm gonna tell you what, man, it was a culture shock. I'm 15 years old, summertime. Them private beaches suck. All right. And
What were you doing though?
dude, I was floor covering. I was a Mexican. That's what I was doing.
I was so
Dude,
you were going out to the fields?
dude, sheetrock,
Ah.
roofing, floor covering. Matter of fact, dude, bro, fast forward from that story one day you'll want to hear, dude. One of my opinions, sidetrack a little bit. One of my opinions that if this country's saved, it's going to be saved by the conservatives that come from Latin and South America. I think a lot of these folks, I ain't going to throw out no colors because you got both kinds of folks and all colors of folks on all
Mm-hmm.
sides of political lines. But if this country's going to be saved, which I don't think it will, but that's just me.
Man, that this country isn't a fucking. It has a
But
snowball's chance in hell to
if,
recover.
well, okay, you know what? I like how you said that, brother. I can relate to hell. Um, if this country is saved, it's going to floor the left side so much they will nuke this fucking place. I'm gonna tell you something now. Now this is me getting venturing off, but
That's all good, boy. That's what we
bro,
do on the gun line.
let me tell you something. This gun line, if y'all anybody's listening, there's only going to be a very few amount of things that if can this country can be saved. One of them is going to be these so-called illegals. All right. Now, I don't know if it's the Arabs, the Orients, the Africans that's crossing the border that's going to be part of that saving grace. But I damn sure can attest to it being our brothers and sisters from below the border that grew up below the border, that didn't go there. I'm not talking about the illegals that's going there to get here. I'm talking about the folks that's coming here. My stance is this country's going to be saved. It's going to be saved by all these people that's come here to get a job because what they're not no stranger to seeing what's happening in our country. Their country's happening. Thank God El Salvador's coming around,
Shout out El Salvador.
Oh, yeah. If they'll quit burning down Chile, they come back too, Argentina, hell, it's more expensive to live there than here. So them Germans can go fuck themselves. You Nazi bastards.
All the Nazis went out over there.
I'm telling you, in them Argentina mountains, I watch them things. But look, bro,
I heard Hitler might be over, or might have been over there.
I've seen a lot of what they call evidence, this, that, and the other. But I do know, as far as speaking now, this country's run by a bunch of Nazis. It has been for decades on both sides of the line. They've been playing people. Yep. They bring in 20 million. They bring in either 10 million to 20 million illegals every time a Democrat wants to stay in office, and the Republicans bitch. And because they rev up all these daggum, working class, let's just say it what it is, white folk. They rev up all these working class white folk. Hey, look, they're gonna take your jobs. Yep. These motherfuckers get upset because they don't understand that. Look, bro, they just come here to work. There's a lot of shit you don't want to do, and if you don't realize that these people coming from these countries done seen it. This is the last bastion of freedom the world has. If they do away with this country, there is no more freedom, and that's what some people want. I don't know who they are. I got my opinions. Yeah, everybody else does. But if this country's out of the way, a lot of people think that there's a lot of things that they can do and not worry about no more.
But what I do believe, I completely concur with what you're saying, that there are those powers that be that want to see this place in havoc. Because it's easier to control a population when they're disarmed, when they're uninformed, when they're at each other's throats. So what's the best way to divide? The best way is to divide and conquer, right? So what do they have us doing right now? Arguing amongst each other over the stupidest things in the world, which have no bearing in anyone else's lives. If people learn to mind their own fucking business and just live and let live, things would be so much better. But unfortunately, we're over here fucking getting on Facebook, getting on TikTok, getting on Instagram, arguing about the most retarded shit there is in the world, bro. Now I get it. Some things do need to be spoken about, but I mean, it's just they just love creating the tension and drama for us to fucking fight over.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, send it.
So I I like to listen to a lot of different perspectives and
Oh,
personalities.
sure.
You know, what's that guy's name? Emmanuel Marty, the guy that was stabbed by the Muslim several times. He lives. I think he's in Australia.
Mm,
But he's from Iraq, if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
Either Iraq or Syria, one of
Mm,
the two. I want to say I've heard him say he's from Iraq.
okay.
But with that said, Christian man fled, when a bunch of bullshit was going on, made his way to Australia.
Right.
And this guy, I've watched him several times. But I think his name's Emmanuel
Mm,
Amari. All right.
okay.
I want to say that's what it is.
Okay.
Now, he was doing his sermon, and he's preached against the alphabet people several times. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And he's you know he's preached about what seems to be like kind of what you just brought up, how uh the way they keep us bickering at one another. As long as there's several topics to bitch about,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's going to be feel catered to their personal bitching, and then they give you Facebook so that way you ain't burning shit down. And then some people that burn shit down,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's different. That's a different topic. I'm pretty sure they're instigated and paid.
Right.
But
Right.
Emmanuel Amadamari made a particular sermon not long ago where he addressed the powers of this world and referred to a particular passage in Scripture. All right.
Oh, word.
Um, my son, if my ex-wife wouldn't have changed things, my son would have been named Emmanuel, and it
Okay.
means God with us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to me, but I love books. I've got a hell of a collection. I'm very proud of it.
Only if you could read them.
Oh, bro, I'm still trying. I can read about 4 words out of the Geneva 1560 right now. I'm gonna tell you, hey, look, you wanna wonder, about what's hard to read. You pick up a facsimile Geneva 1560, my boy.
My
Battle.
boy,
Let me tell you.
I am not the best one to talk about reading. I tried reading fucking now that we're on books. I tried reading this fucking book by Ted Kaczynski. His you know who he is? The
No.
Unabomber. The Unabomber.
Oh, that dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the
So
dude with the codes, man.
dude, this motherfucker, I try to read his manifesto that he wrote. I couldn't get past page 6, bro, because I'm like, this guy is just talking on an intellectual level that I
Man,
can't understand. I need a
you gotta.
fucking dictionary next to me so I can look up words as he's fucking talking, bro.
I will make it make sense for you right now, and it will blow you away. I know what you're talking about. All right.
Mm.
All right. So you use a big word, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might not even, as long as it sounds real and you play it off right.
Mm-hmm.
Us illiterate folks will be believing that shit. Like them fake ass Christians in front of the TV watching televangelists.
Yeah.
Hey, I had God give me 5 suits the other day. You send me $100 and He'll send you 5 suits right now. Call.
Jesus wants me to have that G10. All right, and
Yes,
these $500 suits. He wants me to have them. How
I
else can I
got
go
that
preach?
thing for a deal. Tyler Perry sold that thing to me so cheap. I couldn't. I felt like it was a sin if I didn't buy it.
Jesus told me not to open those doors to Houston refugees because they would swamp up and destroy the church. How can I preach then? Oh man, don't get me started
How
on
can
those.
I keep my youth without drinking this dead baby blood?
Yo,
Jesus said so.
bro. Hey, Jesus told you to go worship that owl at
Hey,
Bohemian Grove.
look, you got cats these days for like what 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, there was some lady. This made it to the news, bro. You can't tell me this ain't a design. It
Mm-hmm.
made it to the news, 20, 30 years ago? This woman, probably in Minnesota, it sounds like some Minnesota bullshit.
Mm.
I seen Jesus in the toast. I
Oh,
pulled it right on out the toaster, and I swear to God, holy moly, I seen our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ staring me right in the face. I
bro,
mean,
that's up there
Fox
with
News, CNN, 30 years ago.
fucking seeing the Virgin Mary in the tortilla. You can't get any more motherfucking whoo we conspiracy whatever the fucking word is. All right, so anyway, we're fucking all over the place. Welcome to the Gunline, folks. We are at 1 hour and 10 minutes, and we are barely breaking in because this is how it is on the Gunline. These are the conversations that we will have out in the field together, where you start off with one topic and it goes all over the place, and then we get back to it. So check this out. All right, you get your deployment orders out in Fort Hood. What are your first thoughts? Like, you know you're going to deploy. What are your
Man, fuck
thoughts?
Texas. That's the first thing I thought. I wanted to go to Benning, dude. Dude, when I tell you Freeman fucked me up, dude, I'm a firm believer that I was heading toward airborne, air assault. I mean, if I could find that son of a bitch right now, I swear to God, I'd scrub that neck with an SOS pad.
That motherfucker. So he ruined your career before it even started, huh?
Ah, hell, I ain't gonna put that on the poor boy. I love Jesus for real, so I got some grace. But yeah, that son of a bitch fucked me.
All right. So what about when you got your orders to deploy to Iraq? How did that feel? What were your first thoughts? Like, oh shit, this is for real, for real.
No, I was ready. Uh, dude, I my mama woke me up. This is another squirrel, but
It's all
my
good. That's what we're
my
here
mama
for.
woke me up. We had this little sleep out couch in the living room that
Mm-hmm.
pulled out, and I went to sleep on it, and I woke up. I don't remember much about this particular moment, but I remember the conversation with my mother,
Okay.
and my mama told me what was wrong with you last night. Dude, I maybe 10, 11 years old. All right. I
Mm-hmm.
was this was before I had any camouflage, anything. You know, that's all
Mm-hmm.
I ever wanted to wear was combat boots and camo. Those
Right,
pictures of
right.
me growing up, that's all I wanted. And I remember my mama telling me or asking me what was wrong with you last night. And I was just, I didn't know how to answer that. And she said, you were screaming and hollering in your sleep last night, I guess. Was that in your sleep?
Hmm.
And I'm a very vivid dreamer. And there's another, I ain't going to veer off this too much, but, I've had a lot of what I call visions throughout my entire life. And I've dreamed the future several times. Um,
Word.
Word. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. So,
You starting to
I,
sound like fucking Terrence Howard did on Joe Rogan yesterday. I don't know if you've seen
well,
that episode.
I've watched some highlights of it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. I don't like I said I don't want to veer too much.
No, you're
Uh,
good.
we'll get on that after the topic at hand. I don't mind talking about shit. I have no shame.
That's cool,
Um,
baby. That's cool. Right now, I'm just taking pictures to send to Kowalczyk and Hunt.
hell
Because
yeah, hell yeah.
when I told them that you
So
were coming on, they were like, I'm going to definitely watch that one.
hell yeah, that makes me feel good. I miss them guys. I miss all of us. I miss all of us. Camaraderie
For
is a
real.
fucking commodity.
Yes, it is. So, all right. So we're out on deployment. And one thing I do recall was that you and I in Iraq, first of all, whose platoon were you in? You were in
Uh,
second platoon, right?
yes,
Who
Sergeant
was it?
Watley, Smoke Watley, and if you remember, we had Gunny. What
Booker.
was Booker? Yeah, and then Hopper come along.
Yep.
All right, and Hopper liked me. He was a Brooklyn boy too, but
Mm.
I went AWOL at one point, and I was gone. I don't know, 3.5, 4 days. I mean, I only enjoyed a day and a half of it. And, the rest of the fucking days, I was either in the Austin airport trying to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna go back to formation since I'm caught.
Oh
But
shit.
yeah, I mean, it was something.
All right. So let's if you don't mind, let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. What's up,
All right.
bro?
All right. So one thing I recall about you and I think we were probably on extra duty together when we were in Iraq.
I remember.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I caught 45, 45. Because and of course, half a month's pay for 2 months
Yeah.
because I got drunk in Iraq. I got
Hey,
fucked up.
hey, let me ask you a question. Whose liquor was you drinking?
All right, so I exposed this earlier before. What ended up happening was I got some moonshine from Caleb Roberson.
I remember Roberson. Yeah.
Roberson hooked me up. He had just come back from leave, and he had a bottle of Listerine that he had mixed up with
Oh, yeah.
okay, so he had filled it up with moonshine and then put in the food coloring to make it look like real Listerine. I
Yeah.
bought that shit off him for $20. That night,
How the
I
fuck
got
you get caught with that shit? I didn't even get, we didn't get caught with all the liquor and the wine
well.
coop.
The reason I got caught was because I got drunk, and then
Oh,
it was me, Moya, and McConnell. We got fucking trashed that night. But we had at that time we had guard duty and prosperity. Remember that file
I
prosperity?
do. Yeah. Saddam
Okay.
Hussein was back and forth.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was I missed movement that morning. The next day, I missed movement. And not let me rewind.
Fucking love
That
you,
night,
Lopez.
that night I got fucking trashed. I took a shot of tequila. Sorry, Mendez had tequila in his room and he gave me a shot of it and I gave him some moonshine. That tequila fucking fucked me up. I went outside, started throwing up. And then the LT from Lower Alabama, I forget his big ass corn-fed white boy's name. He was a big ass
Yeah. I know you
that
you talking
LT.
about. Fuck,
Yeah.
dude. He was half black and half Korean. The tall. You
That
talking
motherfucker
LT?
was full white. That motherfucker was white
An
from
LT?
Alabama. Yeah.
A lieutenant that
Yeah,
we
he
had?
was a big ass white boy from fucking Alabama. He caught me and because I remember him telling me I'm from LA too, Lower Alabama. But
You fuck Alabama.
man, you're pretty much Alabama and you're on the border, aren't you?
Oh, I
Shit.
love Alabama, but them motherfuckers in Alabama talk some shit.
Roll Tide, baby, roll Tide.
Yeah, that's all they got. They got that and their sister's pussy. That's about it.
Oh shit! So what ended up happening was okay. They caught me, but I was able to play it off. They couldn't smell that I was drunk and I wasn't acting drunk. You see what I'm saying? But the next day, I woke up late. I missed movement. I started sweating out my pores, all the alcohol. So that's when they busted me. And then fucking Moya goes and tells Gunny Booker that he was
Eric,
drinking with me. Yeah. Yep.
why would he tell Booker?
Because he didn't want me to go down by myself. So I told Booker, I
Man,
told Gun,
that's
bro,
bro. You know what, man? I love the fucking Latinos, Hispanics, bro. Let me tell you, son. I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro.
yeah, you
I'm
got
gonna
it.
tell you what. That's the best fucking culture of any culture I've ever come across. All right,
Appreciate
I'm not playing you, bro. The people that was kind to me, I mean
it.
this, Lopez. The people that was been the kindest to me were Hispanic or black, bro. My own fam. I ain't gonna. This is world. This is a video. You know, I ain't gonna
Mhm.
be some
I feel you.
douchebag to my family. But bro, I'm gonna tell you something, boy. I love the Hispanic culture. I've been looked after by strangers that didn't know me. They were brown. Maybe they were in this country, a second
Mhm.
generation, or maybe they just got here. But dude, the kindest fucking people, bro.
We try,
Anyway,
man.
I'm
We try.
sorry, but
No, you're
yeah.
good.
Y'all look after one another, and people that have respect, y'all look after, bro.
I love Moya to this day. You know, that motherfucker comes to visit me here in San Antonio. He was just here about
Hell
maybe
yeah.
2 years ago. He was here, or a year ago. I can't remember. But anyways, so I told that motherfucker, like, Moya, I told him I was by myself. You need to go back over there and tell Gunny Booker that you were just making it up so I didn't go alone. So he went back to
No,
Gunny
man.
Booker. He went to Gunny Booker and took it back, recanted, because I didn't want anybody else to go down because they're gonna ask me where did I get it from. You know what I mean? And I kept my
Yeah.
mouth shut. I kept my mouth shut, like, hey, you know what? I got it from people that mailed it to me. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I got a slap on the wrist compared to what could have happened because
Oh yeah.
honest, they could give me a company grade Article 15 with 45 days extra duty, 45 days restriction. Restriction of what? We're on a fucking fob. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, did they let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I just got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Did they take your rifle from you?
No.
Them
I,
motherfuckers
I
took mine.
remember.
That's
I
Sergeant Boykin.
remember. I
Them
remember.
motherfuckers
I have
took
a
my
picture.
shit, bro.
I have a picture of you holding holding the broom as a fucking rifle. I remember that shit.
Dude, you're in a foreign country. Motherfuckers just want you dead. And you what? And you what? The fuck? You take my white ass gun and I'm over here surrounded by brown people who want me dead?
Yeah, for real, right? So
The fuck?
what was the event that led to you being on extra duty? If you don't mind talking about it. If you're
No,
not
absolutely not, bro. Man, it's been some years, man. And even then, um, you know, we
because
ain't
I
who we
honestly
was then.
I don't
But
remember. I don't remember to
bro,
be honest.
I'll tell you, honestly, it didn't make sense to me.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier,
You were
slight,
railroaded.
yeah, because I think Lieutenant Colonel Sessions,
Mhm.
remember at the time he was up for full
Rest
bird
in
too.
peace.
Yeah, fuck him. But look, all respect to my
I
my,
got
my
you.
guys, but dude didn't work for a living. We did.
Right, right.
And I give respect, but man to man, soldier to soldier, I followed him. That motherfucker would have sent me anywhere. I'd followed orders. No,
Right.
hands down today, I believe I'd have done that. I believed it then, and I believe it now. If that motherfucker would have sent me, anywhere, I'd have done it. That's what we were supposed to do. All right.
Right.
But I went AWOL. And if you remember, not remember, but I'm sure there's some cats that might see this that remember. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but me and Sergeant Eldridge had a little
Rest in peace.
mishap. No,
Yep.
he
Cancer.
hit on my ex-wife.
What the
Yeah, bro.
Hawaiian one, right?
Yeah. Dickhead it was Smokey because he thought it was funny.
Yep.
I mean, I loved him. He didn't get his ass stomped, but I mean, hell, Chief Campos, remember Campos?
Yep.
He was our section chief, but I ended up getting moved. If you remember, I got moved to the new Gunny Hopper shit when Booker was doing his thing, getting promoted, and Hopper was moving up.
Gotcha.
But Hopper was all in for me at first, when he first come in. But I take all the blame that I have to take. It is
Right.
what it is. I'm my own man, brother. But what led to those events was this. All right. I had issues with my ex-wife. I had a young son, and I wasn't prepared to even be a grown young man. I
Right.
was a child when I went to the service. The service didn't take a young man and turn him into, a man. They took an idiot kid. That's what I was, that was very prideful and
Mhm.
had a chip on his shoulder. The army took this dumbass kid and made him a soldier, you
Right.
know. So, with that said, the events that led to me getting in the predicament of those 45 days, all
Mhm.
right, was those issues I had with my ex, young man, stupid, wanting to be damn young and not married, and I'm a soldier. How you flip them dog tags up. I can still bump my chest, boy. And I damn sure did it then too. Young
Right.
things be dog tags. Oh shit, I like you. I was just a dumbass young man, and
Yeah.
so I ruined the marriage. And I won't take every bit of the fucked up shit that happened after that, but I ruined the marriage, and that led to a career in the army being ruined because I didn't know how to juggle all of that stuff.
Okay.
So having those issues, Corporal Stout, remember Ira Stout, my
Mhm.
boy. All right. He was really trying to look after me, but I got into some weed. There was a young man, I don't know if you remember his name, but McDaniel, uh, damn white kid. I think he was actually from Seattle, Washington. I think he might have been from Portland, Oregon. I can't remember, but it was some area like that.
Yeah.
But he was trying to get out, and I was just dumbass, and you know,
Hold on,
late
hold
to
on, hold on.
formation.
Give me one quick second. You said Ira Stout. Was he the The
He was
NCO one, right?
corporal at the time.
Right. So that was the other stout, not Little Stout.
No,
That was okay. That's what we were
that
talking about
was
earlier. Was Little Stout.
his daddy. I had, I'm Southern fucking naive guy that'll ask any damn thing because I'm curious. I
Right.
get
Right.
away with it for some reason. But I'd ask him, where are you from, Ira?
Yes.
And Ira was like, I'm from Seattle. No, man, where's your bloodline from, dude? You look mixed, but not the
Yes.
mixed I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing black and white people, ugly white women with some damn probably decent looking black guys, but they just want some white tang. So they get with these ugly ass fucking white women for some
The big
reason.
fat ones.
Yeah, and I asked Ira just like that. Now Ira loved me from the get because I'm a child at heart, and I asked him stupid,
Right.
childish questions. And I asked him, "Where are you from, man?" What do you mean where I'm from? Seattle. No, that's not what I'm looking for, Corporal. Come on, Corporal Stout. Where's your bloodline from? You look weird. Well, I'm mixed. You ain't mixed. I know what mixed looks like. Ugly
Yeah.
white women and some black thug, boinking and getting that's mixed. And he was like, "No, Josh, Josh, don't never say that in public again." Yeah. I was like, "Well, what are you mixed with?" And he's like, "Well, my daddy went to Korea, So I was like, oh, I didn't know they made them."
So he must have been part Filipino, I'm guessing,
Oh man, dude, you know
or
what?
Korean.
Yeah, Korean. Which is funny because
Ah.
it's that you say that. I had some God blessed saint, what is it, Latter-day Saints, motherfucking Jehovah Witnesses, some bitch come to your doors, come to my
Mhm.
door and accuse me of being Filipino. I
That's
mean,
kind of nice.
I might have been smoking a little bit, but god dang, I get more like Hispanic. Like, I get Hondurans tell me all the time, "You don't look white. Where are you from?" "I'm from here, man."
God damn. Hey, I guess they want to draft you into to our side for when the Great War happens. We got more numbers.
Well, I'm
Oh
going to tell
my
you
God.
right now, that's where exactly I'll go because that's the most conservative group of honest people I know for real.
Yeah.
The only reason why any people from below the border that grew up Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia. I mean, there's several other states
Mhm.
within those countries. I mean, and some states are richer than others. I mean, it's just no different in the U.S.
Yep. Just
But
at a smaller scale.
that's the most, because look, man, the women honor their husbands, for the most part that I understand.
Mhm.
Um, you talking about hard working, everybody pulls them together. Goddamn, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a white family member kick their son out of the house. And that don't really happen many other places other than
Right.
America if it's outside the white race.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you got
It'd be like that.
you Hispanic people, what do they do when they come here? They capitalize on, okay, let's get a house, let's pay it off, then we'll start on fucking, martying out the damn next house, you know?
Right.
So all you gotta now that's what happens. White folks, they don't do that. They hate on one another. And I think black folks do that to themselves too.
Yes. I
But
believe with you. I believe 100% what you're saying right there. A lot of people may not like that fact that you just brought up, but from the outside looking in, I don't want to generalize and say everyone is like that, but for the most part, that's what it seems like from the outside
oh
looking
bro,
in.
look, I'm gonna tell you something. I was about 22 years old and my life was saved. I've died twice. Okay.
Mm.
Now, one time that I probably should have been hacked to pieces, I was in Germantown, Maryland, dude.
Oh
And
shit. Okay.
oh yeah, I'd beat this Mexican with some jumper cables because, and when I say Mexican, this was a, this dude was Mexican, and I'm pretty sure there was several fucking like people from Mexico City that'd be like, we don't claim this motherfucker. All
He
right.
was probably Central American, Salvadoran, because out there in Maryland, the
Well, he
majority
was
are
dark as
Central
fuck.
American.
He,
Yeah.
he, he was dark. He was pretty damn dark. Now I know,
Okay.
like you get toward Tijuana, closer to the coast, and some areas. But this particular guy,
Yeah.
and I learned a valuable lesson from this man,
Mm.
and several actually over life thinking about it. But this particular moment, Darwin Lopez is what he went by. I took his name.
Darwin.
Darwin.
Okay, he was Salvadorian. He was Salvadoran. I could tell you just by the name Darwin, because only Salvadoran
shit.
people, my people. You see that flag back there? That's
I
actually the
do.
Salvadoran
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
So that because I'm part Salvi. So only my people name our kids those weird ass fucking names. We're like the
Oh
black
shit. I'm
fucking
glad to know that.
Hispanics. Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
Darwin, I could see that.
look,
Yeah.
this particular guy, I don't know why he never really clicked with me, but we was in the same camper traveling, you know, working construction, and I thought we was cool, but we wasn't. All right. I was just a dumbass kid, you know, and getting taken advantage of. You know, if he ever needed something, I mean, hell, he's just a crackhead. I mean, he was the very rare Mexican, I say Mexican, I'm from Georgia.
You're
Forgive me.
fine, dude. You're fine. That's how we call each other too.
But look, bro, very rare have I ever seen a fucking Hispanic crackhead. You know, very rare. All right.
Right.
But this motherfucker done brought the goddamn pit bull up in the camper. Pregnant as fuck. It had like 20 damn babies. 10 of them died on my mattress. Bro, I'm so God blessed mad. Danny, bro, look, I was like, you stupid. Oh, dude, I was going to town, man. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, get the fuck out. Anyway, the dog needs the bed. It's got puppies. The motherfucker telling me to sleep outside. I went outside and grabbed jumper cables, went back in there and wrapped them around his neck and drug him out the camper and beat him with these motherfuckers. All right? Look, man, this motherfucker, now he was a very stout. He wasn't very tall. And I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'6" and 3/4. That's crazy. I know 3/4. That's how you know I'm short. Dude calling out 3/4.
Just gonna add that 3/4 in there.
Yeah, I probably actually. I got work boots that make me look 5'10". No, I don't come out of them shits until I'm at the house, bro.
Yeah.
But look, Darwin, he got some good licks in there. We tussled, and then our mutual friend Rojo, he comes around. Some Irish Mexican. I don't know where he's from, but I mean he's like fucking what's his name, the boxer that's fucking killing it right now. He's the redheaded Mexican boxer. I know he's Mexican.
I know what you're talking about.
Canelo, yeah, Canelo. I wish he'd come out of that daggum pyramid stuff he's doing right now. But anyway, look, man, this dude, we tussled. Well, he buddied up with me a couple weeks later. I slept in a fucking tent, dude, for a little while. I was mad, all right, but I wasn't gonna go in that camper. I mean, it was nasty, dude. All right.
Well, shit, you just had a fucking pit bull have puppies on your bed. That's nasty.
Bro, I was tore up from the flow up, brother. Look, man, I was so pissed. All right. So look, a couple weeks later, dude, we start buddying back up, and right. we like to party, So we was getting closer to New York, and they like to party up there. So, he kind of, I don't know, man, he started buddying up to me. And I was naive. I've never been one to hold grudges. The only person that's ever won a fight against me is Jamie Russell. All right. And I love Russell to death. If you remember that fight, he popped me in the face and I was blinded by my own blood, and
little scrawny ass Russell.
Bro, I'm telling you, he's a hell of a boxer, man. He can throw them hands. He's fast.
Wait, didn't he fuck up a Hunt when they were boxing too?
I thought, yeah. Russell got them hands, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell got them hands. Now, he talked some lip for a little bit, and shout out to Russell. If you ever want a rematch, we're going to do hand-to-hand, not no boxing. I don't do rules.
Shout out Russell.
Hey, I love Russell to death. Man, that dude chilled out on top of a cat and a howitzer several times, just talking about life, looking at the stars.
Yes,
be out in the field, you know how we do. But anyway, yeah, bro, this motherfucker down set me up with some brothers from below the border. And I don't know why I was able to leave. But I ended up sitting with this man, the young cat that I buddied up with.
Yeah.
I sat with guy, I think he went by Pedro. It's been several years ago. It's Germantown, Maryland, many drugs and beers ago,
Yeah.
you know. But I sat down with this guy and we partied quite a bit.
Mm.
And during that process, bro, we talked about just life in general, children, what it's like
If
where
for
he
those
said he was from.
unaware, when you're partying, you end up partying. You give up. You spill your whole guts to everybody,
And
and
yeah,
and
if it's
you
too
might just
much, you
met
lose
the
your
motherfucker.
emotions.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're
Men shouldn't
smart,
do that for week binges.
and I tell you what, if you're smart, you'll start drinking beer first. That way, it'll counterbalance the
Yes.
partying. Because if not,
Yes.
ooh, your heart starts pounding so hard, you
It's
think you're
time to
gonna
go to
die.
sleep sometimes. The beer
Oh
will help with
God,
that.
bro.
The green will help with the sleep.
Oh, I'm sure that'll work. But for me, my man, I would hate it when I would try to go to sleep and I'm having like two different conversations in my head. Like, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm never
Bro,
gonna do this again.
dude,
And then like this
God,
shit fucked up. Oh,
that's crazy. I've only smoked crack one time. But
mm.
like that redneck, and it's like I don't do that toot no more now.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
but look, dude, I've smoked crack once, and I wasn't back from Iraq long. I was in the
Mm.
barracks. I ain't gonna throw out no names, but dude was supposed to go get some weed, and he come back with fucking an ounce of crack. All right, and bro, I come from a place where meth was cooked in
Right.
the place of moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through some things, and I can tell you, children, if you do crack, you're fucking up. Thank God that I was able to stick to my word. I've only done it one time in my life, but me and this
Yeah.
young man, I'm waiting to get kicked out of the fucking army. Thank
Right.
God. It's the same man almost died with because I was in a bad car accident. I don't know if y'all know about that shit. Oh
Mm-mm.
yeah, 4th of July weekend, 2006, boy. I spent that shit the Fort Hood Hospital, bro. Watched fireworks from that parking lot while y'all motherfuckers was overseas. I was back here
Mm-hmm.
in Garrison, fucked up, dude, in a
Damn.
wheelchair, bro. Oh yeah, oh
God
yeah,
damn.
bro.
Fourth
Real
of
talk,
July
dude.
weekend. Yeah, we were in Baghdad at the time. Yeah, I hadn't even come back on leave yet. I didn't get to come back until fucking shit, damn near October. I came back on leave.
Well, they rushed me out on that Rhino, like I said, because that Lieutenant
Mm-hmm.
Colonel, dude. I ain't gonna say no other names. I don't know if this has been brought up in other podcasts before. But this is probably one of the wildest stories I like telling. I like
Mm-hmm.
telling this story
Bring
right
it
here.
on down, baby. Bring
All
it on
right.
down.
So me and some cats was moving liquor, wine coolers, and beer all over Fob Union 3 and Prosperity.
Mm.
And like I said, there's about 4 names I'm not gonna mention, but shout out to them boys. They talked about it. They talked about it. I
Right.
don't kiss and tell too much. But yeah, boy, we when we was on that prosperity guards you mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
uh, one of us was able to broker a deal with some of them down 8 to 11-year-old Iraqi boys that
Outside
look
of the
like they're.
gate.
Oh yeah, it's got Burt Riddle mustaches, at fucking 8
Yeah.
years old.
They were the
What the
ones that
fuck?
outside of the tower gate, right? You would
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah,
give them like Pepsis and they'll bring you fucking dude, they will bring you anything you wanted. I do remember
bro.
that.
The times that me and so left to go to the mess hall to gather up everybody's food. I was always grabbing like cases of Coca Colas, extra, sneaking
Mhm.
them back. I was hitting on the one lady that was, I can't remember her damn name, but she is actually, I think, was it Charlie Company? Because it was us as Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, wasn't it, in our unit?
No, we had Alpha Battery, Bravo Battery, and then we had Golf Company.
But what was the deal with that Charlie unit that was on the other side of the barracks? Or was that a unit? Was that not a unit? That was just maybe some people from Charlie something else.
I
I
don't
mean,
even know, bro. I don't remember anybody from any Charlie company.
well, there
I,
was this
I know we
chick
had
that was.
Golf Company, but we had Golf Company
I
because I
remember
was
golf, but
then we had I think headquarters in HHC. We had
what'd you
yeah,
say? Oh,
HHC. I
okay.
mean HHB, HHB. God damn it, you got me talking companies or batteries. We had HHB, which is where you would have like like your where the commander would be and all his fucking
Oh yeah,
his
yeah, all
people.
his cronies. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Grenese. Shout out Grenese, HHP.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah, dude,
dude, Grenese was always so bright, man. I mean,
fucking Grenese, man. That fool is he's always he has not changed at all, bro. From all the years that we've
good.
known him, he's still the same person. Love that motherfucker, dude. Like I said, ran into him a couple of years ago at the funeral. So it's a shame, that the only times we get to see each other nowadays is when shit like that happens. So all right, well, let's run it back to the life and times of Wheeler. All right,
All
so
right, so
you ended up
so
getting busted. It sounds like it was one of those serious allegations.
well,
And
I failed a drug test. All right,
oh,
on weed. All right, so and that was kind of pushed under the rug. I don't know
okay.
if anybody really realized that or not, but I failed a drug test. Matter of fact, I don't know. There was about 4 drug tests that we had when we was activated that I come up was that
Hot.
inconclusive. No,
Oh,
because I would go with, dude. I was a stupid ass kid, but I'd go. Dude, I was going to fucking formation every morning, with a damn
right.
condom with water, tap water in it. You know,
I'll be hanging up a minute. Yes. Goodness. Sorry, my wife is asking me how much longer I'm going to be on here because I got to go to work
I'm
soon.
surprised I ain't heard mine too. Hey, look,
Uh,
so catching up, I failed a drug test, and I'm sure they kept popping them on us that particular month because I kept filling mine up with water from the urinal or from the house with a glove.
that
I
goes
mean,
to
I
show you that the pecker checker was not doing their job. They would leave
no,
you alone to go
no.
piss
What
then.
was the sergeant's name that had the big ass belly, blonde hair, white, blue eyes?
Short
But
guy?
he's E5. He's been in like almost 20 years, but stayed at
Sergeant
E5.
Nichols?
Nichols, yeah, yeah, yeah. He never looked at my dick. I love that motherfucker. I was so thankful because I never
All right.
whipped my dick out.
Check this out. We do got to wrap this one up, and we're going to have to continue on another day. But before we hang up, Wheeler, there's something I need to know.
Yeah.
When we were deploying, all right, we were all on the same bus. We are getting ready to roll out to the airport. Everybody got on the motherfucking bus. I was sitting next to Kowalczyk, and Cruz was sitting, I think, in front of me. And everybody's all quiet, and everybody's calm and shit. And we're just like thinking, like, fuck, we're getting ready to go wheels up. We're gonna go to Iraq. We're going to fucking Kuwait next. Blah blah. All these things are going through our head, right? And we hear some whispering and talking, just and all of a sudden we just hear, and that's the pig fuckers. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Or you were like saying about pig fuckers or fucking people that fucking animals. I have no
Yeah.
idea what the hell that was about. All I know is that we were like, the fuck you talking about, Wheeler? Like, where the fuck did that come from? So, can you give me some clarity? Because for almost 20 fucking years, Kowalczyk and I have been trying to figure out what the fuck was Wheeler talking about. That's the pig fuckers there, or animal fuckers.
Well, there's a conversation I remember having with Mr. Micah Hubbard, Leon. I think Travis was over there too, but Walker. But I come from a long lineage of sodomy, you know, and sometimes being down here in the South in the old days, people got lonely, and all they had was their hogs. And somehow or another, this derogatory term, just kind of stuck with the family through the generation. Now we ain't pig fuckers no more.
He
All right.
said no more.
But but that terminology still reigns real strong in my bloodline today.
Okay, okay.
So if you heard me, you and Kowalczyk, Moya, all you
Mhm,
fantastic, upstanding men, all right,
mhm,
heard me talking and randomly mentioning something about somebody getting fucked or doing the fucking of said
mhm,
hog. Um, it was just random bullshit,
mhm.
probably. But I remember a conversation about having with Hubbard
Okay.
talking about how if they're fucking goats over there, they'd probably fuck pigs too.
Okay, so some things are starting to make a little more sense. Like I said, we were just all in our fucking zone, getting ready to go. We're on the bus, and we just hear, and that's them pig fuckers there. What the fuck?
I bet you one thing's for certain. They was fucking pickfuckers over there.
I'm pretty sure 1,000% because I mean they have video of motherfuckers fucking their donkeys and shit like that and goats. So,
I
god
seen
damn
them.
it.
It's crazy over there, boy. Them some
I,
bitches get lonely in their huts. I'm so glad we got our Facebook phones these days. So that way
for
folks ain't
real.
fucking pigs no more.
I tell you what, I mean, I wish I could stay and do this a little bit longer, man, but I do got to get dressed to go to work. So
Hey, brother,
when
this has
can
been great. Thank you,
we,
man.
we need to catch
Look
up
forward to
more?
part two, man. Catch back up.
Yes, and I'll get at you after I fucking drop this. I'll shoot you a message, and we got to link up for a part two. Sanchez wants to jump on. I don't know if you remember Sanchez.
Oh yeah, fucking Sanchez. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
all
Hell
right,
what?
cool. Then what I'll hmm?
You good? You good?
Oh, I said what I'll do then is I'll reach out to Sanchez tonight after this and see if we can get together either next weekend or next Monday because that's what works for me. You know what I'm saying? Now that I started working again, I'm working night shifts overnight, so I, I'll work around you guys' fucking your schedules as well. But yeah, I think that'll be a fucking party and a shit show.
Oh, we're gonna have to
That gets
get a
together.
reunion eventually. It's gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I'll let you go. Thank you for your time, Lopez.
No,
This has been
thank you,
great.
brother. Thank you. This has
Part
been
two, baby. Better tune
oh
in
yeah.
for two, bitches.
Wait for part two, ladies and gentlemen, because we are barely we haven't even gotten. Well, I think we scraped the top layer. We still got catching up with Wheeler and what he's been up to. And you keep doing your glass cutting videos. I
Oh
was
yeah,
watching that
dude.
earlier today.
I
So
hope I can help somebody out because there's a lot of money to be made out here. I promise you, you ain't got to go pay nobody and get in debt to make no damn money. You just got to
facts,
go get yourself some tools.
facts. All right, then Wheeler. I appreciate your
Peace.
time, baby. I hope you have a great one. I hope that you enjoyed this, man, as much as I enjoyed seeing you again. I fucking love this. With that said, y'all, I thank y'all for joining us here. If y'all got any questions, if y'all remember Wheeler from back in the day, y'all got some questions, make sure that if you're on YouTube, slap them up in the comments. If not, you could DM me on Facebook or Instagram. And last but not least, you could always go to onthegunline@gmail.com and, send me some emails there. I'd love to hear from y'all's feedback. And yeah, with that said, Wheeler, you got anything for anybody before we dip out?
Yeah, well, while you're alive, you better live. It ain't gonna wait
There
on
you
you.
go.
Love y'all, man.
There
For
you go.
real.
For
Lopez.
real.
Next time, bro.
Hey, oh, show Wheeler. And that's those pig fuckers over there.
God
Rounds
damn it,
complete.
get them pig fuckers over here.
Rounds complete. End of mission. Gun line out, y'all. Deuces. All right, then, big dog. I appreciate you. Oh, man. He did drop now. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. If y'all haven't done so yet, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's keep growing this channel. If you want to jump on and be a guest, on the gunline@gmail.com is where you can find me to go ahead and set up that we can schedule you on to go ahead and do an interview, man. I am gonna this channel will blow up eventually. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is get better. I'll catch y'all later, and I'll see y'all next time, only on the Gunline. Bye, y'all.